right, Cinema Night Podcast. Welcome in. I'm Govier, Travis, Eric. We bring you movie talk. That's what we do on this show, so it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for popping in. Today we're going to do The Island, a movie from 1980 that I chose. Find out, does it hold up or not? That'll be the focus of our show for most of this episode. cinemanightpod@gmail.com, of course. You can connect with us further. Travis, it's Friday. You've been on spring break. Good times, noodle salad.
I love not being at work. It's just been full goblin mode over here. I've been like part of my own couch. It's like I became fabric. I'm happy. What can I say?
Wow. So you kind of blended into the environment, and if didn't know any better, wouldn't know you were there unless you kind of crept out and leapt at us.
Yeah, I'm like a cuttlefish, but in my living room. I did go spend time with family yesterday. That was nice, and I could have actually, yeah, it was great, and I could have gone out the night before that. I just couldn't be forced to. Couldn't be forced. How about you, Eric? How's your break treating you?
Oh my God! When you have kids and you're a teacher, all you do in the days leading up to any type of break is pray that your kids don't get sick.
Yep.
Over Christmas, my wife had COVID. Both of my kids were sick. So the past month, I've just been praying and giving them like 10 vitamins a day. Daughter got pink eye immediately on Sunday night.
Oh my God.
So she's home with me for 4 straight days, which was good. Like, I mean, you got to appreciate those moments. And now that I'm like here by myself, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot when I'm by myself. I'm just wrought with anxiety about what to do. And my ADD takes over my entire mind and I can't think straight. So I'm kind of wishing that there was somebody else here. But yeah, other than that, I did sign my first music licensing agreement today because I got this guy composing my latest movie that I just finished editing, and I passed it along to him. So I had to like sign this waiver. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I hope I don't get sued somehow.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're a big deal now. You finally did it.
You're a big deal.
You did it. You're in the big leagues now. Welcome in. That's cool.
Michael?
We're looking at a debut on that movie soon? When's that? Unreleased? Unknown?
I don't know. It depends on how fast this guy can write it, and I can, I told him pretty much what the mood is going for because I put temp tracks on it to kind of give him a mood, like an idea what to go for. And he wants to Zoom, which has already given me, I've already got anxiety, but he wants to Zoom me about the project. Oh my God.
Of course he does.
I almost passed out when he mentioned that.
Oh, that sounds awful. What a terrible existence.
Life's hard.
Life's hell. It's just, it could be worse. You could be stuck on an island. And,
Pirates?
Yeah.
The Lost Boys?
The piggy. Okay, so email, cinematipod@gmail.com. I was thinking about Lord of the Flies. Foreign language shows from Joe Lowry. Foreign language shows. Well, this sounds fun. Hey, guys, following up on Travis's quarantine viewing picks for the most recent episode with his love of Shogun. Begin. Shung Lao. Wait, no.
Kung Lao.
Shokan wins. Fatality. Flawless victory.
Oh.
Shang Tsung and Shokan. Those were two guys in Mortal Kombat. I have to add that I am really enjoying watching it. Oh,
great.
He likes it. Just a great show. That's what he just said. And in the second season of Tokyo Vice being fantastic, and there was no way I would have believed before the year started that one, let alone two episodic streaming shows that were primarily foreign language mixed with English would be at the top of my watch list this year. I personally can't remember that being the case outside of Narcos Mexico, for any time in the recent past. What foreign language shows have you guys enjoyed the most over the last 5 to 10 years? Cheers, Joe Lowry. Thanks, Joe.
Does Peaky Blinders count as foreign language?
I've never seen it, but I do know you're referencing.
Yeah. I don't really watch a lot for. I mean, I guess Squid Game would be the big standout.
Never saw it.
It was great.
I saw this email and I had to do some research. I'm like, God damn, am I that ethnocentric? Is that the right? Well, yeah, Dark. I watched this show, Dark. It's a German supernatural series. It was solid. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel okay. Did you watch anything, Mike?
No, go ahead. No, I did. Go ahead, say things.
Yeah, I will say things. I just mean that I don't feel bad about mostly watching. It's one thing to watch a movie in another language. It's watching a TV show. It's a little bit more involved, I guess. But Shogun really has drawn me in. It's awesome.
Shogun.
Yeah.
I just want us to do that every time I hear that word.
I guess I'm going to stop saying it then.
It's fun. Shogun.
How's that water?
Foreign language.
We isolate the soundbite on that water bottle.
Past 10 years. I mean, let's see. I'm trying to think of countries. Mexico.
The country.
Africa. Have I seen any shows? There's a lot of countries in Africa. Australia. I mean, they speak English.
Wasn't Bloodline an Australian show, or am I wrong?
No, it was Florida based. It was Florida Keys. But that's exactly. It's so funny you said that, because that is exactly the show I had in my head before you said that. That's weird. There must be something Australian about that show.
Well, Ben Mendelsohn.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. I guess I don't. Nothing comes to mind. But if I come back on something, I'll let you know. So in the meantime, we give you our quarantine viewing picks, and Travis has been on spring break, living like a goblin. So it could be a fun one.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of shit. I've of course been doing some of the comfort food, like High Spirits. Checked in on that again. Did a couple Marvel movies, Doctor Strange, Civil War, even though I just did it a couple weeks ago. Spider-Man movies.
You watched the second Doctor Strange, or was it the first one?
Oh God, no, just the first one. I watched Multiverse of Madness one time and then a second time to make sure that I hated it, and I do. I hate it. So,
so there's no coming back from it. And we're not going to be like, yeah, you know what? Upon further review, yeah.
I mean, I'll give it another shot. I'm sure. I'm not. It's a Marvel movie, so I'll watch it at least once more in my life. But I'm not going to like
Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse of whatever.
Yeah, not even that trash. Let's see. I watched Dumb Money, the Paul Dano-led ensemble flick on about the GameStop thing. What a huge cast! They really needed to advertise this better. I mean, Nick Offerman, Seth Rogen, America Ferrara.
They pushed it. I remember they pushed it hard. There was a lot of commercials when it came out, but I never watched
Davidson. It's a huge cast, and it was entertaining. I don't know how accurate it was. It was weird as fuck to watch a period piece about a set 2.5 years ago. That was weird. Yeah. That was really weird, but like it still felt very of that era. A couple years ago, the era we're still living in. But it was all taking place during like the peak of COVID for the most part, like 2020, 2021. So it was interesting watching it for that reason, I guess. I checked out I said that. Suncoast, a new kind of coming of age flick. It's interesting. This young girl, she's a senior in high school. She has been taking care of her comatose brother for 6 years. Her mother is controlling, played by Laura Linney, and they take the brother into hospice care, and it's a period piece as well. It takes place. It's at the same hospice care that Terry Schiavo was at in 2005. And so there's all this kind of going on. Like she's like neglected by her mom, and then she like meets this weird Terry Schiavo protester guy who's played by Woody Harrelson, and like an unlikely friendship kind of blossoms, which is an interesting role because you're like, Woody Harrelson playing like a far right dude. Is this going to be a hardcore critique of that? And it wasn't. And it wasn't an embrace of it either. It was just a really human story. I really liked it. It's on Hulu right now. Like everything else that Fox Searchlight's doing these days, it's just going straight to Hulu. So I would recommend that one for sure. Watch some really dumb movies. Christian was over, our buddy Christian, and he picked Twister's Revenge from 1988, this monster truck fiasco that was made for like, I don't know, a couple $100,000. It was shot on video. It was not bad enough to be good. Don't waste your time with Twister's Revenge from 1988. We laughed at it some, and I made it even worse by following it up with The Fanatic, that Fred Durst directed film.
Yeah. John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta, which I believe you saw that, didn't you, Eric?
I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I kind of liked it, but again, it wasn't nearly bad enough to be good. It was just kind of sitting there. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was very middle.
No, it was awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I wouldn't watch it again. That's for sure. It just kind of ended, just stops. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess the movie's done now. And I went to the movie theater. Oh wait, hang on. Before I get to, I watched Ricky Stenicki with Zac Efron and John Cena, because you know me, I love John Cena. I cannot believe this is Peter Farrelly. I cannot believe this is the same dude who did Green Book, because this is very much the same guy that did Shallow Hal. This is more Shallow Hal Peter Farrelly than Green Book. It was not very good. I went to the theater, and I went on a Monday at like 11 a.m., and which is nice because you got the theater all to yourself. Of course, I had to pee the whole time. I was like constantly having to run out to pee because I drank too much soda, since I was excited to have like the whole cinema experience. Anyway, the theater has like upgraded MJR, and they have like actual sort of almost couches, like reclinable couches with like little partitions between them now, and like a little marble table to like put your stuff on. It's kind of weird. I paid extra for it on accident, but I watched the movie Late Night with the Devil, which if you're not familiar, stars what's his name? Dasmalkian. What's his name? David Dasmalkian. Yeah, it's the first starring role for him. Period piece. It's basically Satanic Panic, the movie, and I definitely recommend it. It was really good. My expectations were high. I may have overhyped it in my head a little bit. I don't know that you need to see it in theaters, but it's certainly enjoyable. It was good. An hour and a half, which is a refreshing change of pace in cinema these days. And it got in there, it did what it wanted to do, and it had some pretty spooky moments, and it was memorable. And yeah, I'd recommend it.
How do you feel about the AI controversy?
I mean, I am opposed to AI whenever possible, but there wasn't, from what I understand, it was just in some text, like some of the text
at the
beginning of the film.
For the program with the dancing skeletons. They went to AI, and all the graphic designers are pissed.
Yeah, so there's like these interstitials that kind of come up, like between commercial breaks, and I guess it was for those, and they looked fine. They didn't look like AI. They looked like they were made from the 70s, but it was almost, if that's what they were using, it's like, why? You could have had a human do that probably in an afternoon.
Graphic designers are fucked.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
I mean, for the next 5 years, it's over. I mean, it's just
everyone's fucked.
Teachers are fucked. You're right.
Yeah, filmmakers are fucked.
Teachers could be fucked. Yeah,
teachers are fucked. I mean, we're not, teachers. We're not going away, but it's going to be harder and harder to actually teach anyone anything.
I would argue. Well, yeah, but I would argue that teachers have more of a utility here with the human touch than a graphic designer, unfortunately. Because
I mean, if we're comparing, sure, but your point is made, Eric. It's definitely
StreamYard created AI. Today, I tried to make a stream. Hey, we got AI for you now, Mike. And I was like, they'll make my thumbnail for me. I'm like, oh wow, well that would save me a lot of time. So I tried it. It was the biggest piece of shit. It just said the letters of the person I was putting on the graph. It was terrible. I'm like, well, this thing's not ready. Nice try, StreamYard. Trash.
Yeah. What about you, Eric? What'd you watch?
Oh, Jesus. Wonka?
Huh?
Turned on Wonka on HBO Max.
Couldn't do it.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I had to turn it off. Like,
wow.
I was on board. I was on board because like the production design is fantastic, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's a musical. I love musicals. I'm ready for another take on this subject matter. But Timothée Chalamet, like his voice is awful. Like his voice is awful, and the songs suck. And that's like all the movie is singing, and I was excited for it. But since it's all just singing and Timothée Chalamet is singing, it's horrible. Dribble Drek. Bad. What else, dude? What else did I watch? Fuck. Yeah. I saw Walter Matthau's face on Tubi, so I hit play without even knowing what the fuck it was because it was like 10 o'clock at night. This movie, The Marriage Fool, like Walter Matthau is directed by his son, Chris Matthau, and this kind of romantic comedy where he's aging and he's a widower and he's trying to move on with his life, and he meets Carol Burnett and they form a bond, and he has to figure out if he's ready to move into a new relationship or not after the passing of his wife. It's a sweet movie, and like the side story is like his son unbelievably played by John Stamos. Like there's no way that genetic pool works at all.
It's weird.
Like John Stamos is like this like accountant, and like he's trying to get his own relationship going, and his view of relationships is kind of fucked up because of his family. He's good in it. Like John Stamos is like good in this movie. I was just as surprised as anyone, and it ended up being kind of a sweet movie.
What year are we talking about?
98.
Oh, okay. Missed that one.
Tender
entirely.
Moments.
I dug it.
Tender Moments with Stamos.
Yeah, I got newfound respect. That's pretty much it, man. It's been a wild week. Like Monsters University, like 50 times here on my spring break.
Oh my god, dude! That reminds me of living with Aaron. God, I played Coco like 80 times in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. How about you, Mike?
Well, I made a good list for this week's show. I was like, wow, I really made some effort. So I watched this dumb movie. Oh, okay, this is great. So there's a movie called Catch Me, ... if you can.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I didn't see it, but I saw the title. Did you watch it?
Oh, hell yeah, I did.
And?
This is a must-watch. It's on Amazon Prime for free if you have Prime. Obviously, it's not free, so that's kind of a myth, but it's hilarious. It's such a great last call of the 80s, 1989, and it's directed by a piece of shit director known as Steven Sommers, his first effort.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His directorial debut, and it takes place in Minnesota. It's about a high school, and it's got that fucking guy who's in the Double Impact movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's like the old man who, I take care of these people. That guy, he's like bald, I kind of mix him up with the guy who was maybe in Flowers for Algernon, but it's not him. Maybe it is him.
Yeah.
Jeff Robertson?
Yeah, see,
anyway.
But it's not. It's Jeffrey Lewis. That's the guy's name, Jeffrey Lewis. You see his face. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. And the dearly recently departed Emmett Walsh plays the bad guy.
Okay.
I recommend both you. Everybody should watch this just for the fun of it. It's dumb, so just know it's the movie about kind of like drag racing in 1989. So just know that. And then I watched this dumb movie called Bottle Shock, which I guess I was trying to capture the Sideways audience in 2008.
Alan Rickman, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean it's got a great cast. Yeah. You got Bill Pullman, Alan Rickman, Chris Pine.
I liked it.
Freddie Rodriguez?
Sounds right. Yep. I don't know. It's been a long time. How'd you like it?
I didn't hate it. I just and Dennis Farina, of course. Yeah, it's got a great cast. So I watched it because after we did Snatch, somebody's like, "Oh, you got to see Bottle Shock. That's a great Farina movie." So I made the effort to do so, and it's not terrible, but it's basically about this seminal moment in wine in 1976 when California took on France. It's like, who gives a fuck? I don't care, but it was like Travis, I thought it was like very Michael Bay-like. And I was like, it's a lot of brightness. Yeah, because it had it takes place in California, Napa Valley for the most part, but it's very bright. And the way it looks very Michael Bay-esque in some scenes. And I don't know, I got annoyed a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. It's worth watching. Alan Rickman's always great, of course. Too much sun. And Bill Pullman, never been more pissed in a movie. Bill Pullman, very pissed in this movie, not playing a crazy saxophone.
Does he do that on a wine bottle? Like,
Little Lost Highway?
Also, do you want to add to that, Travis?
Do I want to add?
I thought you had something else to say. Oh yeah,
wait.
there you go.
Not to the joke.
Speaking of crazy sax, there's a movie I watched which absolutely made me think of that Bill Pullman sax, but I can't say what it is because I still might want to bring it to the table.
So. Of course.
Oh,
every time.
Yep, I always do that. And then I forgot to mention a couple weeks ago I watched all three of the Ocean's movies nonstop. Yeah. I just turn those things on. They're just, I don't know. I like watching them. They're easy to watch, and I could blow through the whole trilogy nonstop really quickly.
All right.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Great oldies.
Cool.
Then I watched Richard Lewis. Also, speaking more celebrity deaths, Richard Lewis died. So I watched his 1996.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
Even if he's on Curb Your Enthusiasm right now, he's dead in real life.
It's a shame. No.
It is a shame. He's a funny dude. I liked him. He was great on Curb. I mean,
Hilarious.
So I watched his 1996 stand-up, which is also available on Amazon, Magical Misery Tour.
Okay.
God, this guy was so obsessed with Travis. I wonder if you'd love it. He's really locked in on germ talk and like nonstop hypochondriac stuff just for hours. That's the whole thing. That's all he does.
What are you saying? Why would I like it?
Germ talk?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying that I was like, this isn't that funny. There was maybe one time where I kind of chuckled, but I like seeing him up there. He's doing his Richard Lewis thing. So And I finally saw Barbie. So
Okay, finally, what'd you think?
I don't know. I really am confused. I watched it and was focused, and I really appreciated what the movie tried to do. It was definitely very unique, I felt. And I was wondering how they were going to make a movie out of Barbie, and I learned how they did that. So they really took the imagination up a notch, and I can appreciate that. So I don't know anything, like when there was like real Barbie shit in it, like I'm like, oh, I remember that. No, I don't remember that.
Of course not. No.
I don't have a nostalgic recall for all the Barbie play sets and cars and characters. So I guess maybe I'm missing out on something in that respect, but it was all right. Great cast. So. And it looked cool. It did look cool. A lot of it was really practical stuff too, so which I appreciate.
Yeah. All right.
And that'll do it. Lastly, I watched Cafe Society, a Woody Allen movie from 2016, which features the duo that loves making movies together that's not talked about enough. You know, Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. They've been in several movies together.
They have.
And they have. And I've started to think about it. I'm like, you know, there's American Ultra, there's Cafe Society, there's Adventureland, of course. I'm like, wow, they love doing movies together, I guess. And
at least those three, anyway.
Which one?
It was at least those three. I can't think of any others.
You're right. Maybe that's it. There's a trilogy. That's nice that they gave us a secret trilogy, maybe.
Yeah.
But I only watched it because me and my brother Matt had seen it in the theater back in Ann Arbor in 2016. And I was like, oh, did that movie suck? Because Woody Allen, we can't even talk about him now. It's not allowed. So, but those people made a movie and they were in it. So I wanted to give them their due. Not everybody in the movie is a terrible person. So Steve Carell, good cast, interesting story. I did enjoy it. I'm like, I like this movie. It's 1930s Hollywood / New York. Of course, there's nothing in America except this coast and that coast. There's nothing in the middle. Woody Allen would never imagine that to be. You think it'd be great to see Woody Allen make a movie about Illinois, Southern Illinois?
It's unlikely to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyways, there you go. Some of the stuff I watched. Okay.
All right.
Now guess what time it is.
What time is it? Is it time to talk the island?
It certainly is. It is time for my selection this week, 1980s. Okay. There's at least 2 movies called The Island, I think. Maybe more, frankly. But this is the one from 1980 starring Michael Caine. So, do I go first or Travis start? I don't remember how this works.
You do. You brought it to the table.
Oh, great. Okay. So, I told last week the story about my mom's previous lover from many decades ago.
Oh, God. Why gotta phrase it like that?
I know. Leanne never liked when I'd say she's my lover. She's like, I'm not your lover. I'm like, well, you are. I mean, But I mean, I was thinking that Joe Iori, may he rest in peace, the Italian psychologist who was he was an alcoholic. He had some problems. He's dead now, though, so it doesn't matter. But he had a great movie collection, like I said last week. And this movie was given to me. Joe presented to this. I don't know why he presented this movie to me. I mean, I was 7 years old.
Why someone would give this movie away if they owned it?
Okay. Well, I can see that. But he purposely had a VHS copy of this.
You're 7 years old, and he's want you to reject your father and embrace him instead. Yeah, so he's like, this is the movie.
This makes sense.
He was a psychologist. Yeah,
it's no longer Mike.
Are you? Was it Toonbaro or whatever the fuck?
Toobarb. Yeah,
Toobarb. Hey, Toobarb. They're calling you Toobarb.
Toobarb. But Joe sat me down. We watched it. I was like 7 or 8 years old. It was 87, 88. And I remember we watched it many times. I watched that more than once. But it had been literally 37 years since I've seen this movie. So there was a lot I forgot. A ton I forgot. And it was basically like watching it for the first time, other than I was waiting for the toothpick in the eyes moment. I knew that. I was like, that's the one thing I remember. Oh, the kid gets toothpicks in his eyes. It's fucking crazy. And but I remembered it differently. So anyways, this is the movie I brought to the table, Travis.
You did. And I have no recollection of this movie. I have no nostalgia for this movie. I heard of this movie last week when you brought it up for the show. I watched it this morning. That's how I started my day. Can't take that back.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, I question whether or not this was a dream you had as a boy, Michael, but this is an actual movie. I watched it a couple hours ago. That's all I can say.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about yeah? So we got a little spoiler there, but so I was gonna say that this movie was probably like let's say it's like a 6 even. That's my guess.
4.8.
4.8.
That's my guess. That's been my guess since I finished the movie this morning. I'm like, that's a solid 4.8.
4.8.
Seriously though, there's The Island from 2005, The Island from 2023, The Island from 2020, The Island from There's a lot of islands.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, okay. Well, Eric, did you have the guess? You already knew.
5.3.
That's right. It is 5.3.
Oh,
this is a 5.3 film, and it's only been rated though by 4,700 people. That's very low, very low. So I guess a lot of people haven't seen this movie. So it might. It's also written by. It's a Peter Benchley after Jaws. Got to capture that Jaws audience.
Yep, it was like the highest paid script at the time when it came out. It was like the book that he wrote in '79, and then immediately they like, okay, he's made another movie. He's made another book. Let's make it into a movie. Let's have him write it. I'm sure. What could go wrong? Everything always was great when the book's author writes the screenplay, right?
Give him $2 million.
I wrote in the notes. Is this the earliest credit for a writer at the top of the credits? I mean, it was very early.
They put his name up front. That's for sure. Hey, remember that movie you liked? Well, here's that guy again.
hey, it's Jaws. Just think of Jaws. Okay, whatever happens, no matter what happens, even if you see some really bizarre shit, some really gross shit, it's Jaws. Okay.
And didn't Michael Caine do a Jaws movie after this?
He sure did.
Yeah.
Jaws 4.
Jaws 4.
Fucking
Revenge.
Disaster.
The Revenge.
Not a good run
pissed.
for Mike.
Oh,
Caine.
the 80s. I mean, maybe Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty
I
Rotten
think some people,
Scoundrels.
but
Yeah, it's a good
overall.
Oh, Mr. Destiny.
That's a really good one.
Oh, that's 1990.
Yeah, it was
Whatever, who
1990 or
cares?
91. So,
All right, so we got a little taste of the Rotten Tomatoes score. So it was Eric. It was not good, was it?
No. Popcorn's tipped over. Everyone's pissed. 33% from the critics, 50% from the audience.
it's worth mentioning while we're talking reviews that the first Golden Raspberries were awarded in 1981, and director Michael Ritchie was nominated for this film in the first Golden Raspberries, and Michael Caine was nominated for this film.
It's so true.
No shit.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. And I was like, this guy couldn't have worked again. No. This guy's a string of huge hits.
Yeah, he did a
both
bunch of
Fletch
stuff.
movies, The Golden Child,
Golden Child,
Captain
that's
Robertson's.
Golden Child, which
No
actually
shit.
isn't that great. I watched it again recently. It doesn't hold up that
That was
great.
that.
Yeah,
I never
always
liked
wanted
it.
to be good, but it's not good.
That's a great way to put it, Eric. You're right.
Yep.
I mean, the audience score is a 51. I mean, it's still tipped over a bucket of popcorn. It's above 50. 10.
That's a majority. The majority of people like this movie, Mike.
That's right. And this movie's old as hell, from 1980, so there's only 6 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So let's go with, how about Bob Bloom from the Journal and Courier, which in parentheses says Lafayette, Indiana. So
Okay.
we're here from Lafayette, Indiana's opinion. Another one of Caine's big bombs with 2 exclamation points. Wow, poor guy. Matt Brunson from Creative Loafing. That's what Travis has been doing this week.
Yes.
Maybe.
Without the creativeness.
Just straight loafing. Straight loaf. The biggest flaw is that the pirates aren't particularly frightening or imposing. Instead, coming off as Peter Pan's Lost Boys all grown up to riff from Kentucky Fried Movie. They aren't tough and ruthless so much as they're rough and toothless.
Yeah, I mean, Lost Boys was one. I mean, that weird dialect that they choose to speak in, where they just like drop like the letter S from things. For instance, he die. Okay.
How many times we from birth to muerte? Heard that like 8 times. That same fucking reading that guy does. I should have memorized it, but I didn't. But
Don't waste.
you know,
your time
I
with
shouldn't
that.
actually. I didn't want to memorize it. But oh yeah, so there's not a lot of reviews that we have currently. We know Roger Ebert. I wonder if Roger Ebert ever saw this one. I'd like to know. It's one of the things about this movie. So, boy, it's really a boring start to this film. I do want to say that. We don't get to the island until 25 minutes, maybe more.
And it's a 2-hour movie, which I don't know that it needs to be.
Hell no. There are so many, again, false endings here. First off, let's talk about this woman. Like this woman, oh, we're going to kill her now. No, we're not. Oh, we're going to kill her now. No, we're not. Oh, this is it. There's like 4 times that they want to kill the woman, but she gets away with it.
And him. Life is really cheap for these guys unless you are one of the leading characters. And in that case, we'll keep you alive.
So are we to understand this that, did I get this right? So I don't know the story of Blackbeard. So he's a noble, some guy named Maynard killed Blackbeard, so they think he's noble. Am I to understand this correctly? I'm already thinking too much about it.
Wait, he is Maynard.
Well, he is Maynard, but like Blackbeard was before their time. So they're saying that he descends from a Maynard who killed Blackbeard is what I got from it. That's why they didn't want to.
That didn't make any sense. I thought Blackbeard was the guy that he killed.
Oh, I thought they were talking. There's always this story. You always hear about this.
Yeah, I've heard of Blackbeard. Right.
Yeah.
But I just assumed that was a nickname that they gave to the dude.
See, I'm telling you, I'm confused. I mean, to try to understand what they were trying to make sense of when they first capture Caine and the boy, oh my God, it's just like, they just keep talking in their language, and it's like, who fucking cares? Can you give me some direction here? What's going on?
How are they not bursting out laughing as they're delivering those lines?
There's probably a lot. I wish we could see the bloopers of this movie.
Jesus.
Come on, Eric, get in here. Come on.
Where do we start? Michael Caine shows up looking like he's wearing Michael Caine cosplay. Like, did you laugh when the second he appeared on screen? It's like, really, Michael? Like, dude, I don't know. Like, the first scene, I'm kind of into it. I'm like, all right, I can get in on some Benchley horror. Like, we got horror at sea. Are you kidding me? I'm down for this. So I got some good kills.
The acting was terrible, though. Yeah, those guys were horrible.
The dialogue was good, but the acting was bad. Which was weird. It was. It's probably the best dialogue in the whole film.
In the opening scene, those guys were
horror. It's forgivable. And then Michael Caine comes on the scene. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. But like, we're about to investigate the Bermuda Triangle. I'm like, I'm on board. Right. I'm on board.
Yep.
I like the kid relationship. I like the dynamic.
That ship looked cool. That initial big wreck that was real, right? I wasn't.
That looked cool.
Yeah, like,
there's a lot of shit I'm on board for.
Petrified the canoe comes in the beginning. I'm like, this is creepy. Like, what is this mystery? And then it keeps going.
So when does it change for you, Eric? Is there a point?
Yeah, as soon as they get to like the first Caribbean island, it's just awful. It's just awful.
Wait, with the plane crash or when they get to the pirates? Yeah. The plane crash I thought was okay. You got what's his name? Zakes Moite.
Yeah, that guy.
That dude. He's in Roar. Remember Roar? He was one of the guys in Roar. I thought that was okay. I was still on board with that, although I could not for the life of me figure out why they landed the plane with no wheels down. I'm like, why is this happening? What?
It really pissed me off. Oh, I just realized the wheels aren't down.
Like he just forgot.
Yeah, right. It was it bothered me. I wrote it down. Like, that's fucking stupid.
He just forgot and crashed his plane.
Then he gets mad at them.
Well, and even before that, there's all that weird shit going on with the gun, which is also really weird. Like, hey, let me buy my son this 22. My son knows all these guns, and like. All that was just really awkward.
It was so terribly obvious. This movie, I know it's old, and Eric says we can forgive some things. It's 1980, but it's so telegraphed. Like, oh, we're going to the gun shop with, of course, that Target. You sent me a screenshot.
80s goon.
I have to be honest. I was shocked that it was white. I mean, I really would. I thought it would have been more racist and been black. I really did. But,
Target.
Yeah, I really did. For 1980, I wouldn't have been surprised. So I guess I'll give him credit for that. But I was thinking that this is so clearly going to matter later, even though I'd only seen the movie once. I didn't remember anything else. But it's like, oh god, this gun's going to come into play.
Oh yeah. So we're showing real early that father and son are both crack shots. Okay, that's going to come into play.
Come on, Dad, we can't go to Disney World, so give me a gun.
And that's what happened. Yeah.
And it was, I know, I don't want to keep doing the qualifier that was 1980, so I'm done. For the rest of the show, I'm aware this movie was made in 1980. Understand 79. That. 79, yes. Comes out in 80. But the divorced dad thing, Hollywood was still really trying to figure out, how do we portray divorce on screen, you know? A year before was Kramer, right?
Right.
79.
So the father won't know what to do with his son. He'll just take him to work. And where is work? he doesn't know. It's a tropical island. He has no clue what's going on there. I'm just going to bring my son to this place that 2,000 people have died in the past however many years.
Well, yeah, but he passionately does know 600 boats, in 3 years. So he knows that. That's dangerous.
So he knows
he
it's
fights
dangerous.
for the peace so he can do it. But he still takes his son.
Yeah, it'll be better than Disneyland, he says.
Yeah. It's so poorly rushed. Like, I'm such a dedicated reporter that I will take my son anywhere. But it's just terrible. It's awfully written and played out and directed. It's bad. You double cross. Where
do we go from here? Like, I kind of wish Luke was on so we could talk about working class pirates.
Okay, let's talk about the pirates. You're right. So, what do you got?
Straight out of fucking Pirates of Penzance, like most goofy, stupid, unscary villains in any film ever. Like David Warner wanders on the set with no charisma. It's just like he's like a fucking J.C. Penney manager. He's not scary at all. For starters,
he's uniformly white. Pirates in the Caribbean, right? Uniformly, except for Manuel, the kid who's been kidnapped. So all of these dudes come from like England, America, and like Australia, I guess. So they all have like a variety of different accents, and they all make this decision to talk like an asshole.
And that kid gets rejected because he's Portuguese.
Well, more than rejected, he accidentally shoots himself in the head.
Well, in the end, but in that moment, which they did fool me. I will give the script a little credit there. When the kid was trying to help Michael Caine escape after he was rejected because he's got Portuguese blood, I actually thought that he was going to help him out, and there was going to be a change in the story there. But he double-crossed, another double-cross. He filled molasses. He sticks his finger in. Oh, it's molasses. Like, we know the boat's sinking. You don't have to stick your finger in there and tell us it was filled with molasses. And also, there's something that came to my mind with these pirates. Let's talk about how they're presented when they go on these raids and this music. The music of
my
the...
God.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
God. Please.
Clearly, we're supposed to... The protagonists are the pirates. Right? Look at them having so much fun killing innocent people in more than one scene. Like more than one scene. It's the first opening scene, they're like these creepy bad guys that kind of coming out of nowhere. But the other scenes, the sequences, like it's clearly shot and presented like we're supposed to be kind of like, yeah, what a fun adventure. Look at these murderous guys. They're killing this family. They're kidnapping this girl and brainwashing her. And all this shit's going on. It's just horrific.
Goofy.
And then you get tidy blueies doing the karate shit.
Yes. We gotta talk about karate, dude. I was laughing my ass off. I wish I had watched it with you guys in real time. We would have died. It was so funny.
This is a feast movie.
Oh,
it really is.
You know, I was thinking that no. Like Street Trash, that's a feast movie because like it's like fun to watch. This like is just not. Here's the problem. Street Trash knows it's fucking terrible and it's having fun. This movie actually thinks we're scared. This movie actually thinks it's a great thriller. It's a fucking joke. It's goofy. It's fucking Ennio Morricone. Like the first few shots of the film when it's fucking Ennio Morricone.
It was?
Yes.
Wow.
That terrible music while they were fucking pillaging?
Ennio Morricone, goofy fucking adventure score.
It was straight out of Captain Blood. Yeah, it was straight out of the 30s.
That is the worst.
I wrote down Errol Flynn. It's fucking ridiculous. Like goofy ass fun music while they're terrorizing tube top wearing karate enthusiasts.
I can't believe it was him.
Yeah.
That is fucking
good call.
wild.
Nice. But I mean, it sounds like it's well presented, but it is cheesy and basically a ripoff of. It's funny that you said that too, Eric, because like I said, this guy Joe presented this movie to me, and I said last week that he loved Errol Flynn movies. He loved Captain. I saw Captain Blood as well. I could have picked Captain Blood. I could have picked Robin Hood from Errol Flynn's heyday, but I picked this one. But those also, I just couldn't not think about it now because I don't know. It's my brain, so here it comes. But these guys, they're majority white pirates, like all basically, right?
Yeah,
except for that kid.
As
far
as
we know,
they talk about nobility and stuff, so there's like a white supremacist angle, I think.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude.
Sure.
And they're being presented as good dudes, as you said, with that music. Like, they're the protagonists. Hey, they're white, so they're good people. But pirates, I think I'm sick of pirates being glorified. Pirates are assholes. They're dicks. They steal and murder, and they are really kind of glorified a lot in cinema and in American culture to a certain extent.
Well, there's been these different runs of what's popular, and usually it is like, so the gangsters in the 30s were popular. You had pirates and shit, and around the same era, a little bit before that, you had outlaws, cowboys, but it wasn't like the Union soldiers that were the good guys, right? It was the rebel former Confederates more often than not. We have this obsession in America, and obviously these movies have success outside of this country as well, but we have this obsession in America with like being the underdog and like celebrating, like thumbing your nose against authority, regardless of how much the authority makes sense and how little the rebellion makes sense. And so sometimes things get glorified that really should not be, like in this case.
And I will say also, go ahead.
Wait, go ahead, Doug.
I just also want to jump in that the one thing that people like about pirates is I understand the Robin Hooding angle again. If they take it from rich people, I get that. Yeah, we like that. But
that's not what they do. They rape and kill
everyone.
even in the 90s, there was like 5 pirate, like Cutthroat Island, like 2 Treasure Islands, Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah,
like it's one of those things. Like before, like when they don't have properties, they have to go back. When they don't have these big
a pirate
superhero properties, they have to go back. Let's go back. Let's redo pirates. Let's just make pirates again.
Although Cutthroat Island really slowed things down, I would say. So.
Didn't Michael Ritchie do Waterworld too?
No.
Oh, did he?
No. Kevin Renner.
Oh, sorry, Eric. Give us more. Come on, hit us, Eric. Give us more.
Yeah, the pirates just shouldn't have talked. Like, if they didn't say, like, you sent us that picture of Beth, like the creepy, like the woman. Like, when she shows up, I'm like, okay, kind of weird. Kind of a weird image. Like, what is that? Mud. What am I looking at? Covered in mud? Like, what is this angle? I was kind of creeped out. If these fucking pirates didn't say anything and they just, like, did these things, it would be so much creepier than this goofy-ass Pirates of the Caribbean horse shit.
Also, I know you guys covered this, but I just want to add a few more from director Michael Ritchie. He wrote Cool Runnings.
Okay.
He directed The Scout, which is a movie I like with Albert Brooks and Brendan Fraser. Cops and Robbers, since he directed. Digstown. I mean, this guy is a seasoned. In 1980, he's not as much of a seasoned vet, but this guy
he did
became.
Digstown?
But no, he was a seasoned vet. He'd already done he did do Digstown, but he also did Bad News Bears, and that was earlier. That was a big hit in the 70s, and yes, he did Downhill Racer with Robert Redford. So this guy is a
big
pro.
Movie. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. I mean, there's a reason why they were able to get the money to pay Peter Benchley for this. Their expectation was that this was going to be a big hit. Clearly,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
This was a big Hollywood to do. They put a lot of money into this. I mean, there is like the effects are not terrible for the time. It's just the execution of everything else is what's so terrible.
I would say the direction's bad. I wouldn't. I would say the acting has a problem. We know that.
Yeah.
The casting there were a lot of bad mistakes in casting.
The story sucks.
The story sucks too. You're right. The story sucks, but there's a lot of. This movie is on real islands in real time. It looks cool. It does look the part. Even the setup of after the pirates get their booty and they come back after they take the big first ship and all the shit. I give the movie credit. They made the effort. There's like stereos everywhere. There's a bunch of shit that all this materialism that's starting to pile up in 1980 from the culture we're living in. It was done well there. The camp, the way it was set up, I thought they did a good job with the set design there.
Yeah, they're trying to make some sort of comment about like the lure of rejecting society and all that. And
we should talk about the doctor then. And let's talk about that aspect of it.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I was actually going to turn to the boy, the son. We've dealt with a lot of annoying child characters in film throughout our 4 years of doing this podcast, but we haven't had any of them that so readily was like, "Yep, fuck you. You're not my dad. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to kill this other guy and then get away with it, apparently, and live a long and happy life afterwards because he murders that dude like he's a pirate and then just." Goes home at the end of the movie.
2 murders for the child. He kills a man and then he kills the other boy, Manuel.
That was
accidentally.
Manuel's
it wasn't.
fault.
Yeah. It was. Well, yeah. I'm just saying. He's gonna live the rest of his life. He's a man now. He's got 2 murders under his belt. And then him and Dad, after it ends there, I mean, it's a strange ending with he's like staring at him for a minute because he doesn't know if he trusts that his son will shoot him if there's a gun available. And I feel that kid's fucked. I mean, those 2 are fucked forever. I know it's a stupid ass movie, but from where they were in their life to where they end up, it's so radically altered forever. It's over, man.
That relationship is over. There's no coming back to being like a normal father and son again. That's all over. And the kid is ruined for life. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Come back from watching your dad machine gun down 40 men in cold blood.
I must tell you, highly satisfying.
He's like all over the fucking place. and like halfway through it, there's still a guy like eating a sandwich or something.
Yeah. Yep. Mid-bite.
I think they're supposed to say like, "Nice try, pirates, but our modern technology is no match." Is there some sort of, because the guy says, so the doctor, I wanted to bring that up too. So the doctor says this, it's an anthropologist's dream. Like he's, the puppeteer of these people, but he gets to see them, and he obviously has some resentment towards modern day society, and this culture he's cultivated has bloodlines, and it's incredible. They're not poisoned by today's consumerism, and I don't know. I didn't really he didn't make a compelling argument. It was just kind of like, I'm kind of bored. I'm retired. I live on this island, and I ran into these people, and just kind of fucking with them for 30 years.
It's Peter Pan meets the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh.
Yeah,
but terribly.
Under siege. But done terribly.
I mean, with the Coast Guard. Yeah, right.
I'm joking, but yeah, I need Luke because like we got like these like the karate dude, like we've got like this holiday like where these rich yuppies are like on like a 16th century Spanish galleon. Like, what is this boat they're even on?
Smuggling
cocaine on a galleon.
Large, yeah.
A lot of cocaine.
I don't doubt that this guy thought we'd have glee in seeing these rich white, Ivy Leaguers getting murdered and tossed off the boat. It's just a weird message, especially from Peter Benchley, who at this point like already had like shark guilt. Like I read a lot about Benchley after I watched this movie. I'm like, what the fuck is with this guy in these ocean movies? Like, is this guy like a marine biologist or something?
Yeah.
No, like he was just like a writer. Then after Jaws, he had so much shark guilt because he thought he was responsible for this fear and hatred of sharks.
He is responsible.
Yeah, and he kept it going with like, I don't know, Pacific Islanders and everything else in this movie alone. Plus, we've got a fucking book by him called White Shark that's literally about a Nazi-created, genetically engineered shark-human hybrid from the writer of Jaws.
Well, if we're talking marine biology, it's a good time. Yeah. We're talking marine biology. We got to talk about the jellyfish. Vagina on a jellyfish? Is that how that works?
Jellyfish. You mean those things they got from Party City down the street that like couldn't even technically have tentacles? It's just like streamers that they were hoping would look good in the dark?
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't get a real jellyfish to do it, but it didn't look any damn thing like a jellyfish. It looked like something out of like that movie My Science Project. It looked like a side thing just grabbed out of that.
Yeah.
So is that how that works though? Like if their tentacles just touch you, it's unbearable. I've never been stung by a jellyfish.
Oh yeah.
I know it hurts.
It feels like it feels like a bee sting, but rather than being in one centralized spot, it's exactly wherever they touch you.
Oh, okay.
Sucks.
So yeah, I feel bad for that woman. What's the deal with that woman? I mean, she's been altered. She was probably captured. Obviously, I mean they were gonna maybe capture that woman on the Buccaneer Spanish galleon boat thing, but then they decided to kill her because why not?
And they do capture that one girl at the beginning of the movie, and she turns feral very quickly.
Yeah, so you guys have never seen the movie. So for his first-time viewers, when that girl is swimming up to the boat that the Maynard son and father are on, they're having a nice time before they get captured.
Yeah.
What did you think when she's like, ah!
She looked funny. She looked funny.
I laughed, and I had no idea that she would. You can't brainwash a kid in like a weekend. Like what is this?
See, Eric, this is how I remembered it, and I wish that maybe they'd done this. I thought that they'd kept him open with those toothpicks for days, like I'm talking like a week almost.
It was like an
and that he had been
It's like an hour.
It was. You're right. It was so. This is the funny thing about what you remember and how it turns out, distorted reality. But I also thought that he had been forced to like watch something like some type of propaganda. I might have thrown in some conspiracy theory in there or something from that movie. But yeah, that would not make sense.
Orange.
Clockwork Orange. Oh, I've still never seen that, by the way, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I really never have. It's crazy. I feel like I have though. Something about milk. People murder people. It's violent.
Oh, you got it. You got it all down. You're good.
Also, so here you go. You want some clarity? The pirates are descendants of the French buccaneers of Hispaniola, and those guys were pieces of shit.
Wait, they're supposed to be they're there for a long time, supposedly.
As descendants, yes.
So it's 1492. That's what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, they're those scumbags. They're basically Christopher. But they're French. They're the Frenchy ones.
Well, then what the fuck they got against the Portuguese?
That's the whole.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
That
doesn't make any fucking sense. They'd be Portuguese.
Also, so Blair Maynard, played by Sir Michael Caine, who, by the way, supposedly refuses to discuss this movie to this day.
Oh, no shit.
Why?
I don't know. The character has the same last name as the Royal Navy Captain Robert Maynard, the first lieutenant of HMS Pearl, who killed the legendary pirate Blackbeard. So I was right. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. I was trying to piece it together. This happened in the 16 and 1700s. Who cares?
Yeah, I wasn't around for that.
Oh, you really missed out.
Missed that.
The Jolly Roger, all that bullshit.
Bad people being celebrated for centuries.
I know. Yeah, because they're white. I don't know. Or they're not even white. Some of them eventually.
Because they fucked with the queen and they fucked with the crown, and that was enough.
That was all we needed. Did you guys know where this was actually filmed? Did you find out? Anybody look
South Carolina?
Close.
Close. There we go. It was filmed in Antigua, apparently.
Okay.
And in the West Indies, as they used to call it. I don't think we call it the West Indies anymore. So, do we?
I don't know. Do we? Are we geographers?
Well, we're historians a little bit. I don't know. We're not geographers. You're right. So.
I say the Caribbean.
Well, the key filming location was on an island that was in a place known as Indian Creek. There was huts and trailers in a village, and they all went to work there. It was a nice little town. It was wonderful.
Cool.
That doesn't change much for you.
No.
Also,
are you just reading the fun facts from the IMDb page?
No, not all of them. I wrote some things down.
Okay.
Also, do Coast Guard people have machine guns like that? I kind of feel like that was for the movie. Like Coast Guards are, I know they're kind of like part of the military, but they're not like a branch officially.
That was like an anti-aircraft gun. That was like,
I know.
That was intense.
I don't know.
I gotta tell you though, guys, I kind of got satisfied by watching him blow them all away. I admit it. I have to be honest.
Yeah, okay, so they're the bad guys. I don't mind seeing the bad guys all die. But I'm also wondering, why are these bullets not passing through them and making the boat itself into fucking Swiss cheese?
These are 50 cal bullets. You're right.
Yeah. Right?
That's fair.
Boy. It's
but
worth it. I mean, they didn't make... There's an opportunity to turn Maynard into like a pure animal on this island based on what he's gone through, which would have made that a little bit more of a satisfying moment. Like, how is he going to come back? They like fucking John Rambo, but they don't bother. He just turns into action guy for a while.
Gets his glasses, loses his glasses.
Yeah, drops his ascot, whatever.
Get your glasses back. Also, that flare gun never comes into play. They really focused on that flare gun a lot that he got from the first boat, right?
Yeah. Never comes back.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Also, what's he? If he's shivering, so Michael Caine he has a fucking head trauma, right? He gets a concussion.
Yeah.
He gets knocked out, right?
Knocks himself out.
Yeah. So then when he gets back to the island and this woman's taking care of him, he's convalescing, he's shivering a lot, and then like there's some green gook that they can put on him, and he's fine. Is that how I am to understand this?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. The last 30 minutes or so, my attention wavered.
I will tell you, the reason I was satisfied by the pirates all being blown away was not because they were dicks. I was just fucking sick of the movie, and I was so glad to see them go. I didn't even care about them. I know they're scumbags, but I'm like, good, fuck these people. Let's just get this thing over with.
Yep. 2 hours.
2 hours. Yep. I think I paused like every 5 minutes. I would pause it, just hoping it would be that little bar would be more to the right. It never was. It was always before the middle, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
There's some other badness that came from this movie was that Steven Spielberg they say, "Hey, you want to do some more Peter Benchley?" He's like, "Nah, I'm going to do 1941," which sucks too. So, yeah, it's a bad time.
Well, it's probably better that he did that than this.
Yes. I don't know if he had done this. Who knows? But no, the story's fucked. You said, yeah, the story's fucked. Yeah,
the story's fucked.
The story's fucked. Also, was that Francis Ford Coppola on that other boat?
I thought it was. The reviews of the book I looked at were really good. And I'm like, wait, what? The guy wrote the screenplay. How could the book? I got to thinking, like, I mean, on paper, I can see this kind of being cool if you use your imagination. I think it's just one of these situations where, like, when you're seeing this, it's so much different than thinking about how it would look.
Yeah, and also, like, again, the Lost Boys, these grown-up Lost Boys, you have them saying this stupid shit and looking stupid.
Bullshit. Yeah.
One of them, it's like, hey, when I attack people, I light my head on fire. That'll be cool. No, dude, it's not cool to light your head on fire every time you attack somebody. That seems impractical.
Because then he puts it out with a mop bucket over his head.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that was there. What was he going to do if it wasn't? Jump off the fucking ship? I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff happening that, like, it didn't seem like it would have taken a lot to fix. But I get the feeling that at this point, Benchley was feeling himself. You know, I got paid the most as any screenwriter ever. The Jaws is one of the biggest movies of all time. This is going to be a huge hit. Don't question me. I know what I'm doing. I'm a great Hollywood storyteller.
Also, you get the paperback on eBay for $5.76.
I'm good
right now. I might read it. See if
good on that.
The book's better. I might need to learn.
Well,
the
just
book
to be
better.
clear, like Spielberg threw out like every draft of the Benchley script he did for Jaws, and like Carl Gottlieb wrote the entire thing, and they just kind of gave him a solid by putting his name on it. So yeah, Benchley's a terrible writer.
And most book writers are not great screenwriters in my experience. Watching their movies and reading their books, you know, like
also, yeah, that's
a
good point. Yeah, I think it's fair to
write a screenplay.
Crichton? Yeah. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he wrote. Didn't he write the script for Sphere?
I think he might. Oh, that's one I've been wanting to revisit lately.
I think he did. I'm not sure.
I mean, ER, did he do a script? Probably.
He would have had to do some sort of treatment. Yeah, the story, the bare bones of it. Yeah.
Also, we haven't said the asshole of the Western world. Great line, I will say. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good one. Why would you come to the asshole of the Western world?
It wasn't as good as the you wouldn't hire a proctologist to fix your nose.
Come on, dude.
What was it? You look like a real asshole. That was
really
good.
Also, how would Michael Caine know that it was a homemade musket ball when they found that the kid found the musket ball in the water? Oh, that's homemade musket ball. I'm like, oh, really? How'd you know that? That's impressive.
Shit, ballistics expert. I specialize in the 17th century.
Whatever the script needs, I'm there for it. Now let's go and give that woman a good thrusting.
Yep.
All right. So this trash movie. Do we have more things to say about this trash movie?
Let me just double check because I want to get it all on the record because we'll probably never talk about it again. Yeah, I guess so. Cocaine cures insecurity. I laughed. I chuckled a little bit.
I chuckled at the look on Michael Caine's face when he's looking. It's like just like fuck. Look at all that cocaine just going to waste on the floor.
He's like, I would love to just spend my time doing that than do this movie.
I'd love to just bury my face in the floor of that cocaine.
Also, that guy sounded like fucking. Yep, that guy sounded like Burgess Meredith. Nonstop. I'm like, I know it's not Burgess Meredith, but that guy sounds just like Burgess Meredith to me. The Christ guy, the chaplain, whoever the fuck that guy was.
Okay.
So there you go. I think that's everything. So I picked this movie. So it's not what I remember. It's a little what I remember. David Warner, you said so clearly. No charisma. You're right. A terrible leader. I don't know why he was. It was just that shows you why bloodlines as a basis for leadership are just not a good idea at all. So,
yeah, this movie alone shows us that.
Yeah. That's a good point. But he really seemed to die, he was very thin. I mean, he was never a fat man, but he really felt like I looked at his body. He was very, very, very lanky and skinny. Could have had a couple steaks, some more food. But, that kid ever do anything again? I didn't know. I didn't even look at his IMDb. I'm sure shit, you were on the island? No, it's over, dude. Go home. So
maybe be traumatized in real life.
Yeah, right.
I know. I mean, that's actually a great point. If you put this kid, that's a real kid. I know it's a movie, but the story, and this kid goes and watches the premiere. Hey guys, come see my movie. And this kid's 12 years old. It's what the fuck, dude? You need to go talk to a psychologist immediately. This is not good. This really happened. It didn't, but you were there. Anyways, it's a lot for a kid to handle. This movie's fucking bucked up and stupid, and I'm glad we revisited it though, because to me, that's what the show's about. Yeah, that I got to revisit it. I'm glad I was able to revisit this film, and it just lets me know that, maybe I'll throw it out again in 30 years just to remind myself one more time if I'm still around. But this movie definitely does not hold up.
I gave it a shot. I gave it a fair shot. 1980 island horror with weird pirate cannibals. I gave it a fair shot. The script let me down. The script is so bad. Michael Caine does not care. Throughout the 80s, you look at every single one of his movies, it's this guy's just he's doing the Adam Sandler thing where he just wants to fucking go on vacation with his family and make movies in the meantime. Every Michael Caine movie in the 80s, he's in the French Riviera or some beautiful island. It's awful. It's fucking terrible. I wanted to turn it off so bad, and I wrote down might turn it off. But I made a vow to myself to never shut off a movie on this podcast. But this might be the one time where I almost did, and I was just guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I turned this off. It's horrible. It's horrible. Peter Benchley's legacy is what it is. Michael Ritchie, we had a string of decent movies, but this is fucking terrible. Don't watch this movie. It's god awful.
You should watch it. Watch it with people, just for the hell of it. If you never watch this movie alone, I would say that.
Watch it on a cruise, on a Carnival cruise line on the top deck.
Yeah, waking up dead sober and starting my morning watching this movie was not the right call. If I had watched it drunk when Christian was over the other night, and we sandwiched it between Twister's Revenge and that Fred Durst movie, The Fanatic, maybe then I would have had more affection for it. This is not a movie to approach with sobriety. This movie is garbage. This movie is complete garbage. It is not a movie. This movie's a movie the way that I am a basketball player. I've played basketball before. It's happened. Incidentally. It's a complete garbage film. Don't watch it. Doesn't hold up.
Yikes. By the way, the kid, Jeremy Frank, he did have one other credit. He was in Blood and Honor, Youth Under Hitler in 1982.
Oh, okay. Well, best to him. He doesn't do a terrible job acting in this movie. I'll give him that.
No, he's not that annoying. He's not that annoying.
Yeah, he actually does a pretty decent job. It's just a shit role.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot for a kid to take on. So there you go. Maybe you'll check this movie out with friends. Do not watch this film alone or sober. I would agree. I think that's a good call, Travis. Watch this movie inebriated in some fashion with people so you can laugh more. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, back to the top of the board here on Cinema 9 as we approach our anniversary in about 12 days.
We really got to figure out what we're doing for that 200th episode.
Yes, that we're on. Well, I think it's kind of apropos that this was episode 187. A lot of murder.
Oof. So it's my choice next week. I've gone around and around trying to figure out what movie I want to do. I had a movie in my head for a while, but then we watched this, and I'm like, oh, man, I got to shift gears. I can't be too close to this.
Cops and Robertsons?
You nailed it. So I'm going to shift gears dramatically and go with a unconventional romantic comedy from 1997. We're going to check out My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh, I never saw it. I mean, I heard a lot of jokes about it. Once again, I feel like I've seen a lot of movies just through late night talk show shitty jokes, monologue jokes.
All right.
Too much. Yeah.
Well, now you'll see it. You saw it back in the day, right, Eric? Or no?
Is this the Notting Hill team Who's this filmmaker?
I believe it was the Notting Hill team. I feel like before Notting Hill.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Is
you never
Dermot
seen it either?
Mulroney in this one?
I'm ready.
Yes,
Yeah,
Dermot Mulroney. Dermot Mulroney's in this movie. Neither one of you guys have seen it, really? Okay, that's okay. Interesting. Yeah, I saw it a ton back in the day.
Is this a Gary Marshall movie?
No, I forget who directed this.
Well, I'm familiar with it, but I never saw it. So yeah, here we go. Another one off the list.
Brace yourself for the opening credits. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Just brace yourself for that, and then go from there.
Will the writer get top 3 billing?
I don't know. Did they get paid the most for a screenplay for this? I doubt it.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a pleasure. To all our friends at sea, those that we've lost, all 50 pirates murdered, cold blood.
In one fell swoop.
Couldn't care less, though. Could not care less. Thanks for watching the show. SimandIPod@gmail.com. Travis, Eric, Michael, we'll bid you adieu now.
I do now.
Asshole the West.